Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria, and in today's video I wanted to teach you how you can become better at math, because me personally, I used to be so bad at math. Like, my math teacher always used to call my parents and say, like, is she even doing her homework? Like, how is it that, like, it was bad, but I was able to make my math way better, and I can also show you guys some exams I took and how some of them in the beginning were really bad and the ones now that are really good. This one, for example, so wait, that would equal a C minus in America, 56%, and 9 out of 16 points. Okay, another one which would equal to a C, and or the points are here. I can't really leak all the other things, that's why. And I was able to that would equal, I don't know what this would equal, but those are the points. 15 out of 16. In my country, that's an A. So how did I manage to get better at math? And is that even possible? All of those things I'll be talking about in this video. So if you want to get better at math, keep watching. So the first thing that really helped me was because the problem is, whatever the teacher used to try and teach me, it would come into one ear and just go out again. So that would never stay in my head. So obviously I could take as many notes as I wanted during class, but I knew that that wouldn't help me personally. So what I did is I actually put in the work after school at home to learn maths by myself, because if my teacher isn't able to teach me maths, then I'm gonna teach it to myself. So what I did is I got my hands on the solutions to, we had a book where we had a lot of exercises and all that, and there were solutions to that book. So what I did, I grabbed the solutions and I looked through them. Like, if we had a topic, there were a lot of exercises. So I used to look at or I am looking at the answers, how they're explaining it in the answers. And what I used to do is I then took the exercise and I wrote it down, and I was constantly looking at what I wrote and the answers, if it made sense. How does the answer go from A to B, from B to C, from C to D, etc. And then I used to look like, does this make sense? Is this like, I used to always compare, and then I used to do a lot of exercises, and then when there weren't enough exercises in the book, I used to go online, search exercises online, and just try to do those. So that was tip number 1, and now we're going to tip number 2, is do as many exercises on the topic you're learning as you can. This will really help you because it basically prepares you and you see the pattern. Like, in maths, there's a pattern, and the pattern, it always repeats itself in the exercises. It's just that some exercises are harder than others, but if you're able to do the easy to medium ones, don't really bother too much doing the hard ones, because most of the times that will either be like some bonus question, or it won't really be 5 questions in the test. It will only be like maybe 1 or 2, and it won't really, I mean, it's good if you can do them, but it's not mandatory to get better in math. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, if you are unable to teach yourself, try to find someone on YouTube, like you Google the topic on YouTube and try to watch as many videos as possible and do as many exercises as possible, because you can always watch the videos, but if you never understand how to implement, and if you don't use your brain, if you don't interact with those exercises using your brain, those tissues in your brain, they won't remember anything. So really doing the exercises and implementing that what you learn will really make it stick in your head. Another thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning, but is really important, is your mindset. Like, really your mindset. You can't keep telling yourself that you're bad at maths. Like me, for example, why did I even want to get better at maths? What made me want to be and get better at math? Me personally, it was because a lot of people I knew were making fun of me being bad at math. They always used to tell me, oh, you're so bad at math, you're a 0 at math, and all those things, and I wanted to prove them wrong. I was like, yeah, I'm a 0 at math for you, but for me, I'm not a 0 at math for me. Why would I think that of myself? So stop telling yourself that you're bad at math just because your grades aren't showing that yet, or because a teacher failed to teach you the subject correctly. It's like languages. You're not gonna learn French at school just because you took French at school. Those methods that they're using at school, they're failing you. You won't learn anything. You'll have to put in the work yourself if you really want to achieve good grades. And really do your homework as well. Like, your homework will help you activate that brain tissue, those neuron connections, whatever they're called, neuroplasticity, whatever, that will stay in your head for long enough for you to pass those exams. And you also just gotta do a lot. Like, the more you do it, the easier it will get for you. Like, it's not smart to start studying one day before. Like, studying one day before or the night before is so bad for you. Like, you won't remember anything. You, like, refreshing is fine. If you want to refresh one night before, that's even something I would recommend you, but not all. That's, you're gonna stress yourself out so badly. Please don't do this. It's not beneficial. It will stress you. You won't have enough sleep. You'll be super tired while taking the exam. Like, don't do that. Always study 1 week before, I would say, for the topic, of course. You may not want to exaggerate, like those people who take off their summer break to just start learning the topics that will come next year in math. Like, you still gotta live, okay? Like, live your life. But don't start one day before. Like, 1 week is the sweet spot. Acknowledge that your mistakes are not a sign of failure. They're mostly a sign of your learning. And of course, you want to be making those mistakes before the exam. But even if you make some during the exam, you're still learning after all. And especially when you're studying, don't be too hard on yourself just because you got a lot of exercises wrong, or like, especially in the beginning, like the first 2-3 exercises. The more exercises you do, the more you will understand the pattern, because math is all about patterns. They all repeat themselves just with different numbers, different equations. It's always the same pattern. That's why they have always a set equation um, or formula. I don't know how I'll be translating it here. And you always just have to follow this one pattern. That's it. That's it. The only thing that kind of makes it difficult are the numbers, but the more you try to understand all of those things, the easier it will get for you. Another thing, I think it's tip number 5 or advice number 5, is after you understood an exercise or a topic, just imagine yourself teaching it as if you're a tutor. So imagine yourself having an audience of maybe like 2 to 3 people who want to learn that subject, and just explain that to them out loud, or try to explain them how you got to the result you have. And this is actually like, I'm gonna put a picture here of the pyramid. I think it's called the pyramid of learning, or I don't know, but that is one of the most effective strategies of how you can learn better and will remember better. So definitely do that. And if you really don't want to do it out loud, then just whisper. But at least do it. You have to do it. It's really, really, really effective. Another tip is, it's tip number 6 now, is stay consistent. Do at least 30 minutes every day. Don't sit there one day before the exam and study for 8 hours straight. No, that will just burn you out. It will stress you out. It will be hard for you. Consistency beats long sessions once a week. I do know that a lot of people have the problem like where you have other subjects you gotta study for that are also really important. The best thing you can do is a routine. So how much are you, like, you know where you're stronger in some subjects and where you're weaker. So what you want to do is, you want to do a routine, like take a pen and a piece of paper and write it down. What subjects do, like, draw a line like this, right here. Subjects I'm good at, subjects I'm bad at. And then you're gonna list the subjects from the ones you do best, and then the ones you do worst. And then you're gonna, like, how you're gonna build that routine is, you're gonna write, for example, daily I will need 30 minutes of maths because that's my worst subject. And then maybe English, I will only need like 10 minutes revision, or things like that. And then really write it down how much time you're willing to sacrifice per subject, and make sure that the subjects you're weaker in consume the most of your time. Because if you're just gonna use most of your time on the subjects you literally already can, then it's just useless. You want to be decent everywhere, not just really good and then really bad in some subjects. You know what I mean? And also what I want to give you guys as a tip is, try to reach the flow state. Because if you're in that flow state, there's a lot of musics. I can leave some in the description. You can just go there and watch them, or click on listen to them. You're not watching music, but anyways, that will help you reach flow state. Because when you reach flow state, the thing that happens is, you're so concentrated, you're in your element, everything around you just fades away, and then you're so concentrated on what you're doing, and it will just let your brain absorb things way more easy. Because when we as human beings are stressed, what happens is our memory says goodbye, like bye. Your brain will not memorize things because it's in high stress. So you will want to reach that flow state, that calm state, where your brain can absorb informations easily. And as I said, there's a lot of musics that do that. Or before you study, do meditation, do all of those things that like calm you down and everything. What you want to do in a topic, like there's always a topic and then there's subcategories, right? Most of the time, it's not all the topics that you're not gonna know. Like you're gonna know at least one or two topics, and don't study those because you already know them. You don't need to be studying them. So always study on your weak points, guys. Always study on your weak points, because if you already have strong foundations in other subcategories, then that's really, really good. Keep that. But guys, my storage space went out, so I had to clean some things up. But now I'm back. So what I was saying is, if you always study the topics that you're good at, it's just gonna maybe make you pass by like 1 or 2 points. But we want to be good, okay? We want to be real good. So we will have to only study the topics we're really bad at, because most of the times those are the most important ones, and those are the ones where they will come a lot in the exam. Because in my experience, it always was like that, and I was really grateful that I decided to sit down and learn and study the topics I was weak on to make them strong. Before ending this video, I just wanted to remind you that like when you make mistakes, you're learning. But everyone says that, and just because you make mistakes, you won't automatically learn. Like you have to actually look at the mistake, look what you did wrong, look what's actually correct, see how you can make sure that it will be correct, and then you can successfully say that you learn out of your mistakes. Okay, that's the only way you will learn out of your mistakes. You have to watch and look your mistake in the eyes and see and ask it what you did wrong and correct it to make it right. Then you will have learned something. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will get better grades in math, and I believe in you. You can do this. So if you want me to give tips on any other subjects, write it in the comments. I'll gladly do that. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.